welcome to AFI Fest presented by Audi. My name is Sarah Harris. I am the Director of Programming for AFI Festivals. First, I want to thank all of our sponsors, including our presenting sponsor, Audi, our cultural partners for this film, Elma, and the Consulate General of Switzerland in San Francisco, all of our AFI members, and you, our audience. Thanks for joining. It is an honor to be here today with the directors of My Little Sister, Stéphanie and Veronique, and as well as the fabulous Nina Haas. So ladies, welcome.
Thank you. So good to be here.
First of all, I want to congratulate you on the film. I have to say, I think I mentioned this earlier, but like you having it in Berlin was probably like the last major festival to have a full-on normal festival experience. And so I'm sure it's quite a strange path to have launched there and now be kind of going through this part of the circuit. But I'm really, really happy that you had that experience because especially with this film, it's incredibly important to engage with audiences. But first I want to ask kind of for Stéphanie and Veronique, how much of the story is drawn on your own personal experience? And I know that you both have kind of a theater background, and so that influenced a little bit of the writing, but I'm curious if you could tell a little bit more about the story origin.
First of all, we wanted to write a movie for non-French speaking actors. So we had this idea, we just wanted to write something for people who don't speak French, which is already a challenge for us. And then we wanted to write a movie for Nina Haas, actually, because we had seen her in Barbara from Christian Petzold, and we loved her so much, and we thought we have to write something for her. So the idea was to put her in our mountains, where you have this boarding school with many expats there. And then we were at this point thinking, yes, let's do this. But then we thought, no, it's too complicated and will be way too expensive. Let's forget about it. And we were in Berlin writing another script when we met by chance Nina in a shop. And you can tell what happens next.
Yeah, so actually we were so moved that I forgot her name. And I said to Veronique, is she the actress of Barbara? And she said, yes. So then we thought we couldn't get out of this boutique without talking to her. So when she finished shopping, we went to her and we said, hi, we are two Swiss filmmakers. We are writing a movie for you. Do you have time for a coffee? Like in all one breath. It was really straight from the heart. And Nina was very open, and she called us back 3 days later. And we met for what she called a quick coffee that lasted 3 hours, actually. And during these 3 hours, it was really a human meeting as an artistic coup de foudre, really. And Nina told us she was a member of the theater of the Schaubühne in Berlin. As we have this background in theater, as you say, we had then the idea to involve theater, Lars Eidinger, Thomas Ostermeyer. So this is really for the side, this aspect of the movie. Then the other aspect, taking care of someone who is sick, comes from my experience, because during the writing, my mother got sick. A lung cancer on last stage. So during 10 months, I would be the Liza of the movie, taking care of my mother. And there are many scenes in the film that really come directly from this experience. And then Veronique lost her father just right. My mother passed away. So we both experienced loss. And as we've known each other since we are 10 years old, we are these siblings. We are really
creative siblings,
yeah.
I would say.
And then it's in this duet of Lisa and Sven, it's also Veronique and Stéphanie. So all this really layers by layers, years through years, because it was a very long process. And we had the big chance to have Nina being there all the time, reading and being like the la bonne étoile in French, you say. The good star, the lucky charm of the film. Really, really, really.
Well, and I was going to ask Nina how you got involved, but that just totally, I mean, I guess not every filmmaker can just walk up to someone and be like, will you be in my movie? But this is such a kind of stars aligning to make this beautiful project. I don't know, what was your initial take when they approached you?
Well, that is the thing. First of all, I guess because every filmmaker thinks that, so they don't dare to come after you. So they never know the outcome, I guess. But these two did, and they did it in such a charming way. But also I was thinking, what actually drew me to it? And I think there was a certain sense, it was very sincere, funny, but there was a certain sense of desperation in the eye, like, if we don't get her now, this will go, oh no, we need to make this happen. So I thought, there must be something there. I need to hear about it, So it was really, and then of course, they told me, they've done a movie before, La Petite Chambre, which is the little room, which is a beautiful, beautiful film. I can only tell everyone to watch it. And so I've seen that and I knew, okay, I can totally trust them. I can trust what they're looking for, how they tell the stories, their aesthetics, their very fine feeling for emotional things, but also for, even though this is a sad story, it has a lot of lightness in it. And even though it's dramatic, it brings you to a point of that you, wherever it comes from, you get energy again, power again. Lisa can reinvent herself again or find herself again through something very sad. In that moment of time comes something light, And I think you mentioned it before, but it's really something I connect to a lot in these days. That this is, although this film has nothing to do with it, but it hits this moment in time, so it's also a film of hope, wherever there's darkness, there's also something, a saving ground, is also growing already. So it's all in movement, and so that is, but very particular in this for Lisa. It's something she gets some new strength out of doing this journey with her brother.
Yeah, I think the thing that really moved me about it is how she finds this kind of creative spirit again that has always been there, but kind of, you make choices and then suddenly you're on this path and as you're reflecting, you're like, how am I here? And we have a couple of films in the festival that I think speak to that. And it's, maybe it's our subconscious being pulled into our choices and, reflection. But that's something that I was really drawn to with the film. And was that always part of the kind of intention with the script and with the story of like making it about this kind of love for life and the creativity that comes with that? Or was it, more the family and the dynamics? And just, it might have been all of it.
I think in what we do generally, Veronique and I, we try to convey this message of the strength of life, because in the little bedroom, there is also this, I don't know if it's a message, but it's something I don't know, that we share maybe in our friendship, that goes in what we do. We try to have this light because we want to believe in life and in humankind, humanity.
Yeah, because even if the story is, as you said, a sad story, but it's about life. We are all struggling. And what is very, for me, impressive in Lisa's character is that she's even more alive than ever, fighting for her brother, fighting for herself, actually. She's saving herself because she has to keep on going. So she has to find herself back. And that's why it's, for me, a powerful character, because if he has to live life, she has to go back to life. And that's why maybe this is the message somehow, how you just find the creativity in yourself and the strength in yourself so that you can leave the other one and let the other one go.
Yeah, really beautiful. Tell us a little bit about your kind of collaboration process, Veronique, Stéphanie. Working as a pair is sometimes easier or not. And then I think based on how you kind of talked about origin of it. Sounds like Nina was really involved in it as well. I would like to hear a little bit more about your approach to that.
Well, there are different moments in creation. Nina would read the treatments, would read the story at a certain point and give us feedbacks. And as we went through difficult personal moments with this loss, as I said, Nina was really helping us to keep going on the way of this story.
Yeah, because at one point, Stéphanie could not write anymore. She was so much helping her mother that she couldn't even think about writing. And I just was watching her, helping her mother. And I was just taking all this like a sponge and writing what I was seeing, what I was just experiencing through her eyes, actually. It was very special. This is a special thing for this movie, actually.
And then on the set, how we work during the day off, we go on the set and we play the characters. We kind of goes into the characters and we don't play the scenes, but we feel them from inside in order to have a kind of choreography. We propose with the DP. We look at it with the DP so we can find where the camera will be, being nearly as a character in this film. And then we propose the choreography to the actors. And then they embody it, they appropriate it, they change it to what they feel being right in the moment. But as actresses, because we come from theater, from acting, what we experienced, I don't know what you think, Nina, that when you are in a form, you can find your freedom because the form is given to you, and in the frame and inside, it offers a lot of creativity because you don't have to build everything. You can go in an architecture and then give all your nuance and colors.
And freedom.
Yeah. And then just when we shoot, we don't decide who does what. We live the present, we look at the scene, and then one day Veronique will go and talk to Nina, I go to talk to the DP. We are really on the present of what is going on the set and in the scene.
Mm. And I can only agree. No, it's, from my point of view, and also I can speak for Lars, I think, who plays the twin brother. Since we played twins, which means it's a very close connection, and watching the two every day, and even before starting to shoot, you feel the symbiosis and this kind of, you think, oh, how could they ever do what they do without each other? And what if, and we talked about it also, this idea, what if the other one is gone? What about the creativity? Do we stop what we're doing, or can we somehow continue, or what? So we went there, and what I found so beautiful, I was hoping for it, but I couldn't be sure, that I was thinking, oh my God, I hope it's not that one comes and has a comment, leaves, and then the next one comes and says the same again, because you're in this room also as an actor, you can't be, too disturbed in a way. And that literally never happened. They work they flow so well together, and they accept and respect and love each other for their individual strengths, that it's like with Lars and me, we said it's like one body but with two heads, but it's one thing, but both of them know who they are and what they want, and they're strong individuals themselves, but when they work, it's just into one, it's like a double whammy, so it's just that was beautiful to see. And also we could take so much, Lars and me, from seeing that every day, this kind of symbiosis, that it works, and that it's all about basically respecting, loving each other for the individual that you are, but building this incredible symbiosis that you can't explain. That's just there, Yeah. And the beautiful thing with Lars and me, and that's why it was great that they put us together, actually, is that we have that too, not in the sense like those two, but like Veronique and Stéphanie, but we work together, or we were together in the acting school here in Berlin. So we know each other since we were 19, 20. And this is such an intensive time, you know, in acting school. It's like you explore yourself, you feel horrible and all these things, you know. It's very intensive. And if you go through that together, you have a bond. And Lars and me, I always felt somehow protective towards him. So like a sister, basically, because he was so open and I always thought, yeah, but this job is also, you know, take care of yourself. Don't run into every night, you know. And and that is still continuing. So that helped us also, that we can just go into a scene. We know we can trust each other. Whenever I do something different from what we rehearsed, he will react, and vice versa. And what Stéphanie said with the frame, that is when you can do that. You know, you have the frame, you have something that holds you, and then within that you can explore. If the moment tells you try something else, it's just that you do it, and you know the partner can react and catch it, you know, and do something, run with it. That's just phenomenal. That was really helpful and great.
It's magical. I think that the performance in this film, it's really at the core of the piece. I think it speaks to all of the, you know, acting background that you have. The other thing I was going to ask you, Nina, but you kind of touched on it, is what influenced your particular performance, you know, beyond I think that's incredible, like the symbolic two directors symbiosis, with the brother and sister. That's really lovely. What else influenced you in particular with your character, kind of going through that journey of loss and struggle and kind of rebuilding strength at the same time?
Influenced in the sense where I took it from, or?
Yeah, just, and kind of like any other personal experience or...
Okay. Yeah, I'm the same. Like I've actually lost both of my parents to cancer and went through this process with both of them. And that's why I could relate to it so easily. I basically didn't have to research, to be honest, because I found myself in there. And of course we spoke about it while of the process of the script writing. But that's not only it. It's just that I could always, the laughter and the tears are so close together, and that's what I really wanted and was looking for in this script and how we tell the story. That, of course, in these moments in a hospital where everything is tense and intensive and all of this, the only, you know, sometimes you have a laugh attack, or you start crying in moments where you get a coffee, you know, where you expected the least. And those are these beautiful, those were my inspirations, basically, to see these day-to-day moments where things just are out of control, you know, and you just try to hang on to it, and you can't control it anymore. But in that lies a lot of possibility also, if you grab it, you know. And that's what Lisa does, and that's what is her strength and the strength of the story. And I could just really relate to it, you know, because I think that's the beauty in life. If anything good, you know, comes out of the situation that you lose a loved one, it is that you look on your own life and you appreciate it so much, you know. And if you can, if you're in the situation that you can, and it gives you a lot of strength and energy again, because you feel how beautiful and, you know, life is, and short. So that is it intensifies your relationship to life, I find.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch gears slightly. I'm really curious about the location of the school, but, you know, the other thing that I think is really interesting about your character, Nina, is, you know, that this kind of very dual life of Switzerland and Germany, and from a writing element, it's a really interesting choice, I think, to kind of physically separate her lives. and have that duality. But then the school itself, I'm curious about, because our team kind of went down a rabbit hole of like looking up this school and like, is it a real thing? Like, is it really where like all these expats are? And, you know, so were you aware of the school beforehand, Stéphanie and Veronique? Was this something that, you know, did you know people that went there or worked there, or how did you hear about it?
As Swiss, you know, we have a strange relationship with those boarding schools because we know they exist. We know people talk English or German there, but not French, most of them. And it's another word in our world. So it's a bit strange for us, and it's also fascinating somehow. And that's why we wanted to explore a bit how it works there, because it's a little word in itself, actually. And even if it's very international, in the Swiss Alps, it becomes really small, and you can really feel a bit étouffant, comment on dit? Suffocating, because it's small. All those people are among themselves, and it's true that they create a little word, and you can, as an artist, and Lisa is an artist, she comes from Berlin, she needs the energy of Berlin. She feels in something way too small for her. And we thought that this contrast was really interesting to explore, because it's also interesting for the couple story, how someone can really feel so happy in this beautiful mountain, Swiss mountain. The place is beautiful, and he has challenges in this school, and he has many things to explore and develop, and she feels completely inutile, useless there. She feels like nothing, and so you have this, and many people are experiencing this in the expats couple, because one is happy and the other one is just going with the other one, because the family just accompany the man most of the time. See, still today it's more men that have big jobs abroad, and you just go and follow. And we thought it's very interesting also on a, I would say, feminist point of view, to see how you deal with this as a woman.
Right. I think it is. I mean, it's definitely a universal kind of this idea of how, or feeling, I think, for a lot of women, to you have to make your choices. And if you are in a relationship of any kind, that's the challenge, right? You have, at some point, there's a path you have to choose, and it's hard. I think it's like, yes, it's hard. Don't watch this. No, I think it's a really interesting kind of piece to the story and to her character. I think that speaks beyond, you know, the relationship and with her brother and you know, all the other things going on. It's very fascinating. So, and beautiful, I would assume, to be there. So, well, I think we have to wrap it up. I've gotten the cue, but yes, me too. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies, and for being a part of this. I want to congratulate you again on this lovely film. It's really an honor to be able to include it in AFI Fest this year, and I wish you all the best for it. I know it does have US distribution, which is very exciting, and so hopefully we will all be back in theaters sooner than later in 2021 and can see it. Thank you for joining us, and to all of you at home, you can reach out to us on social media, #AFI Fest. We hope to hear from you there, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.